Hello and welcome to the DeCode. As season 1 of CheatCode has come to an end, we are joined by some familiar faces today. On the couch we have Robert and Michelle. Thank you for coming, guys.
Thank you for having us.
And we're also joined by our host of the show, Ted.
How you doing?
How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Do it.
Cool. So I think a lot of us want to know, it's not every day you end up on TV, on YouTube, airing out your your dirty laundry. So we want to know what actually made you come onto the show.
Oh, you want me to get this? Alright, well.
You go first, Robert.
As I said, was having a few speculations that my ex was cheating on me, as in, 1 minute I'm talking to her, the next minute, and if I don't give her what she wants, she'll just go cold, like literally, off the grid.
You just wanted answers.
Yeah, I want answers, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not nice in this day and age just having to second guess. So I felt, coming to team and getting that support and actually coming to some form of closure was of much use and helpful.
What about you?
I wanted to expose Michael. Because inside my heart, I kind of knew that he was doing this. I wanted to expose him. The world must see a useless guy. So yeah, that's why. Yeah.
So you came on to let everyone know, do not come near this guy.
That's correct. Yeah, I wish his face wasn't blurred. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is anyone still with the ex? I think
God,
I kind of know
God
the answer
forbid,
to this.
God forbid bad thing. God
Who
forbid
is
bad
that?
thing.
Who is that?
God forbid bad thing.
No, anyone relapse? No relapses?
Faith, will you relapse? No.
I don't know.
No.
This is about you guys.
No.
Well, I deleted that number from then. I blocked it. I mean, the only way they can get through to me is if, they called through a 0800 number, tried to sell me something else. They'd be like, hi, would you like? Hi, it's so...
I'm so
Get off
done.
my phone. Like, that's dead food.
So it's safe to say everything's finished.
Oh,
Yes.
So I think, obviously, it's quite intense to find out that your ex is cheating on you like that. So we want to know, was it a daunting experience going through that? How was that like? Especially when it came to the bit where, you've confronted your exes. How was that like?
Well,
You-
go first.
yeah,
go
you
first,
go
Go
first.
first.
I was more scared and nervous for him, to be honest, because I was ready to attack. Because for me, it was either attack mode or emotion mode. And that day, I was very emotional,
Yeah.
but I wish I attacked, to be honest. But yeah, it wasn't daunting. It was just, I was more scared for what I was going to do to him.
What made you actually keep your composure and not attack him?
That's a good question. Because I think I realised I actually loved him, really loved him. And to see him with that girl, it just, changed everything for me.
Do you think Ted being there and his kind of calm demeanour helped you not to?
Yeah, and he
Get a
asked
case.
questions that I couldn't ask because I couldn't get it out. So thank God he was there because the questions I couldn't even. Yeah, my mind wasn't even there.
Oh, what about you, Robert? How was it? Was it daunting?
It was daunting, after seeing the evidence of the two together, and then, my heart was literally cut at my throat at that time, especially when going to confront them about it. But, that, what's it called? It was a scary sensation, but then once it was all said and done, it was almost like an exhale. Still hurt like fuck.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was, once it passed,
Were you conscious of the cameras?
Or
do you just kind of, once you were
I
confronted
was.
to everything?
I was. I mean, there was 2 times when I literally had a glance of red. It was like, and so yeah. So funny enough, I did meet the person. Not for that, but
No, go on.
there was one time I did bump into the ponytail guy again.
Well, was Ted there?
No.
Because you said the only reason why you weren't reaching over to give him a smack was because Ted was there. So how did that go down?
Well, no face, no case.
Okay. I think it's best to say less on this.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be interesting to know, what would you tell people who are suspicious that their ex is cheating? How would you advise them? And you go first, Michelle.
If you think they're cheating, they usually are. Like, there's always something that you see that's different. And it's not just this, everyone keeps saying the stutter, because he's stuttering, but everything changed about him. Like, he stopped picking up the calls, like, we stopped going out, everything's changed. So if you're suspicious about someone cheating, you're usually correct.
Right,
basically.
so trust your intuition.
Trust yourself, or come and cheat code and let them help you.
Okay, yes. Come on, cheat code. And what about you, Robert?
Well, repeat the question one more time. Just one more time.
What advice would you give anyone that's suspicious that their partner's cheating on them?
I mean, firstly, sit them down and I'll say ask questions. I know Melissa did speak
Story.
about. I know she did speak about stuttering. Myself, I have a stammer. I stammer myself, so I do stutter. This is actually diagnosed, just like dyslexia. But I would say try and have a sit down and talk. If you still got that sensation, that feeling in the gut that they still might be cheating, yeah, I would say call PI, or better yet, cheat code, because I know I would have if I found that out by myself, I believe it would have been a lot worse.
Do you really think if you sit your partner down, they're going to tell you the truth?
You know what? You've given them the opportunity. That's the difference. If you come out accusing them guilty off the bat and they come out innocent, you've lost something. But if you come out with asking them and they're very guilty but they're lying in front of you, when you found and exposed them, there's no return, there's no rerun. You gave them that choice. The point of the matter is you give choice. If you limit someone and you don't do that, then what you're doing, you're treating them like a child. That's not a relationship. That's you. You might as well be a teacher in the nursery. Take care of kids, because then you're literally governing how things should run. Free flow.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. Sorry, because it's either once they start changing, it's either they're planning a surprise party for you, and in a few months, if I don't see no surprise, then they're cheating on me. I don't sitting down talking to someone. Yeah, you're giving them a chance, but you know they're gonna lie. They're not gonna find better ways to cover it up. They're not gonna tell the truth. So
Yeah,
I don't agree.
but
So you go with if you feel it in your soul, then they are cheating.
Yeah, watch their actions and stuff. But yeah, most likely, yeah, giving them a chance to talk is like giving them a chance to cover it up.
But this sounds very defensive,
points.
like you've been cheated more than 2-3 times. Because really, if you're like coming straight out of the gate saying, "Oh, you're guilty," no, if they've changed, I understand. Be wary, be mindful. Don't be deluded and clueless about it. But if you're coming straight off, "You're guilty," "Oh, I'm gonna see if he's guilty," and if they're not, messed up a whole lot of things.
I have a question actually. Did you guys confront your partners before you came on CheatCode, or was it just a case of I have this feeling I'm just gonna call CheatCode?
I actually had wished it went that way. I reached out.
Right.
I tried reaching out, can't get a hold of the person, so I'm like, you've literally put my back against the wall. I have no other option. If I had it my way, which I did, I called, reached out, didn't pick up. So let me get some professionals who will let me know what's going on, because you can't be going MIA for about 10 to 2 weeks every month.
So you were actually robbed of your opportunity to have that conversation.
Yes.
Fair enough. I think we're gonna obviously talk to you guys individually and get into this a little bit more, but I have one more question, which is, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from this experience? And you go first, Michelle.
The biggest lesson I learned: if you have an opportunity to hurt someone or slap them, do it in that moment. Like, don't wait. Because I really wish I could have just attacked. That's what I wish, because everything that came after the episode, I feel like he deserved more than just me crying.
You sound like you're still quite hurt by the
I'm
experience.
not hurt. I'm just annoyed. Like, I wish I just slapped him.
Do you think violence is always the key to solving things?
Well, some guys, some of them need. Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not all the time, but yeah, he deserved
Okay.
it.
And what would you say the biggest learning experience is from this?
Biggest thing that I have learnt is if a girl is demanding on the financial side at the very jump, my friend, run for the mountains, run for the hills, because if that's the big thing that so happens to turn her stomach and make her be her very best for you, then it's external motivation, it's incentives. if that's all it takes to make you feel that good, then anyone can take you away. And to be truthful, those type of women belong to the streets.
Okay. Right. So Robert,
Yes.
you're in the hot seat. So I think there's a bit of an elephant in the room.
Okay.
We want to know, what's with the American accent?
Okay. Okay, so pretty much growing up, right? So I was born here in the UK.
Right.
But growing up, like every other summer, I would end up going over to my uncle's place, which is in the States, so in Washington.
Okay.
So I love the culture out there. Had an interest of like accents. So I'll go out there for like 6 weeks, come back, I have a bit of an accent. One summer I came back, I could not shake it off. So the accent will now interchange from US, UK, like I'm stuck.
I feel like the US accent has its own personality. Like, it gets activated when you're angry. Because when I'm northern, and when I get angry, I go even more northern.
Yeah. It pretty much is like that. Yeah. So when I do get angry, it comes out rather than saying words like ass, I'm like ass, and I don't say ass. I'm like, shut your ass up, shut your ass up.
It is what it is. Okay, thanks for clearing that up, because yeah, it was a bit confusing for us watching.
Hey, sorry, not sorry.
But it seems as though you were unclear about the status of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to clear that up? It seems as though, you weren't sure whether you guys were still on or whether you were off. Do you want to explain that a little bit more?
Sure. So she had been quiet. I haven't heard from her for like a week or a bit. Of course, I got the help from you guys with CheatCode and actually started to look into it. Seeing with that being said, we had not spoken.
For how long exactly? Between the time you stopped speaking and then saw her on the swing, how long?
That was like a good two week period.
Right.
Like in that period, I've tried to reach out, but I'm not gonna keep calling you. Like I'm out here working.
And this is her MO throughout your relationship.
This was her MO, yeah. So there'll be, let's say, I hate to say it like this, but it was almost like as good as a period on and a period off. So like when you ain't on your period, it's all good. Stomach is all fine. Then you have that week just before.
What would you know about?
Exactly.
What would you know about that?
Well, I have a lot of women in my family, so I understand and I can't empathize, but I know it's a painful experience. But the point that I'm trying to illustrate here is that there will be 2-3 good weeks, and then 1 week is just hell. So in that scenario, we had not spoken.
Right.
I've tried to call. She hasn't tried to reach out. Didn't even do the most disrespectful version, which would have been send a text message. Who likes to get dumps via a text message? She didn't even do that.
So she ghosts you.
She ghosts
me. Do you
me.
think that maybe you just didn't want to accept that things were over?
It's not that, because here's the thing. We set up to, all right, cool, we exclusively dating.
Yeah.
So when it was official, I've sat you down. I'm in front of you. I'm telling you, I want this to be this serious thing. Now you just get up and go.
And she was happy with that.
She was happy with that. She's like, yeah, let's do this. So if you did that in a job, you just got up, left, and then you want to use that job as reference, they don't know you. That's bad. You can't just get up and go.
So after that conversation, you just didn't hear from her again?
No, didn't hear from her again. When I found her little sleazy ass doing all that shit, then I literally just got up and haven't spoken to her. As I told you, she can't get a hold of me like a J witness.
I can see Ted laughing over there to your right.
No.
I want to get you in on this. What do you think about this situation?
In regards to
It had him, Robert not been in contact with his ex for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Leading up.
there was a lot around the situation that was really flaky, that was really crazy, and I know a lot of people see Robert a certain way on screen in the episode, but this is how Robert is. Robert's actually very vocal.
Right.
So to see what you saw on screen, it hit him hard.
Right.
And it was a lot, and especially that paired with the cameras and whatnot, it was quite bizarre. Everything leading up until that point was as bizarre.
Right.
And all when we're trying to get the evidence, find out movements here and there, it's hard to do when you can't get through.
Yeah.
So you've got to go literally all around the world in order to get the results that we've got. And personally, it's my own personal comment on it, I just feel like we were lucky to have found them in the situation that they were in.
Right. So it could
Because
have gone
she's
the other
someone
way.
that just disappears as and when. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she was a figment of her imagination, a poltergeist. You just up and gone whenever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think from what we did manage to see, obviously you painted a picture that we only get to see a certain amount of you in those minutes that the show, airs for. So, but what we did kind of see was that you seem to be quite a vulnerable guy, and it seems as though you would do anything for your woman.
Yeah.
Do you think that puts you at a disadvantage?
It puts me at a disadvantage when I'm dealing with young, immature girls. That's where it puts me as a disadvantage. Because when you're actually saying, hey, look, I want to exclusively see you. All right, cool. For what ultimate goal, really? Are we just dating? Are we going for the long 9 yards? Are we going to get married? If we're trying to do all of that, then there has to be some ability of that shield coming down. Most times you end up finding it more one way than the other, but ideally, if both do it, both can kind of work in unison. But then, on that occasion, it was none of the above, and I feel like because of a lot of this, because I'm a guy, a lot of people don't understand exactly what a guy would end up going through, because I ended up taking on extra work. All right, cool, that's fine. But then when you have an ultimate goal,
when you say extra work, do you mean more hours or
yeah, more hours and stuff. So when you take on an extra responsibility, for a man, it's not even a problem as long as we know there's an ultimate goal at the end. But then if you're wasting our time and now I'm working, grinding, that is emotionally taking a toll. So then you can't be surprised if you see some other guys go through some mental issues where they just are just a shell of their former selves.
Do you think you're a lot, less generous now, or do you think that was just something that happened, but you're still going to keep your nature?
I wouldn't say I'm less generous. I'm more inquisitive, and both of my eyes are open. There's times where like you hear something from your parents, they tell you something when you was young, went over your head, you grow up, it comes back, it makes sense. And it was this exact saying: your looks will give you 15 seconds of attention. It's what comes out of your mouth that will determine how long I stay. So now, I can see pretty face, but then what's between the ears? Where's the brains at? Because you're like money. All right, cool. And tell me how much it takes to live. Tell me how much you need in order to live in this place. If you can't tell me that, then literally you're just there. You're just there for the shine, and shine your eyes. You go blind. So,
sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't, because the thing is, if someone is ghosting you 2 weeks at a time, you can't now say, oh, the girl is this, the girl is that, it's just for the streets. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want to wife someone that's ghosting you every 2 weeks and you continue with her until you saw her at the park? I just don't get it.
Can I say something on that just before you do, Robert? Because it actually ties in a bit with my point. And that is, for guys who are in situations like this, it becomes very difficult, very trying. And there's a few things that I've heard in feedback in relation to the show. Like, Robert is very much in a standalone league of his own in terms of what is expected of him or was expected of him in the relationship, what he committed to doing, even the fact that he reached out to the show. Robert's right, like a lot of guys won't do that. They'll end up going through masses of just like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know why it's happening, and they won't reach out to anyone.
Yeah.
And so whilst people find it weird that he would kind of commit to that level financially, or he would reach out to the show, Robert's doing something that a lot of guys won't do, which is to speak up or to be more active or to be more present or to be more engaged. And
that's true.
When we had a talk around the times of like contacting the show, it was about knowing that there's nothing wrong with him and there's nothing wrong with the way that he's doing things. It's the person you choose to be with and the person that you give those resources to.
Of course.
That's where the issue is. There's nothing wrong with the way that he's gone about a lot of things in regards to everything. It's just literally who you choose and who you select.
Now, just going on your point, now it's just, I'm not categorizing or listing saying all women are like that. It's a type. Like anything else, you can have people who are like men who the type of big afros and the type who just lose hair quickly. Those are not the two same. So someone like that, I would usually say if the shoe don't fit, don't worry about that brand. But if the shoe fits, Cinderella, go and wear it then. But if we're talking about a small individual like that, we move that to the side, because the sort of plans that I have is grown man stuff. It's grown man shit. and a lot of that requires planning, tag team work. Now, if someone's like, yeah, I'm just here for the glam, you don't need me. You need the streets. In fact, now better yet, you need Jesus.
But then you knew that. I don't understand. You
Here's
knew
the
that.
thing. But then in that case, I run this same question in return. Now, if you knew that Michael was a flirt and cheating, then wouldn't you have seen it as well?
Hello.
Actually, I'm going to jump in.
Hello.
Just one thing.
Okay. Faith, better jump in. Better you jump in now. Better you jump in because I was going to say something.
I'm just going to jump in. So,
okay, please.
With what you're saying, Robert, did your ex not exhibit this behavior from the beginning? Mm-hmm. Did you see any warning signs?
Those particular behaviors did not end up fruition or showing itself until about the 6-month period.
Right.
6 months there's usually like a window where I'm like, if you mess up within these 90 days, I'm waiting.
Are you sure it didn't manifest before, or were you just fed up at 6 months?
Because a girl like that wouldn't want a broke guy, so 6 months is too long for her to be waiting.
Okay.
Like, no, if you don't have money, just say that.
No. I clearly do.
Yeah.
And as it seems, I was covering all those particular things. Her time is not the same as my own. But then again, you can't be upset when you got Mr. Casanova with the smoothest words, and then after, you cheated on me. Didn't he do it to someone else? That's like you saying Future is a bad guy because, he cheated on Sierra, clearly when he had 4 baby kids. Then it's down onto your own decision.
As soon as you mentioned Future, it's done. As soon as you mentioned Future, I really know what the guy
it's okay. Well, here's the thing. I haven't cheated. I haven't got that on my rap sheet. I haven't got cheated on my rap sheet.
That's the thing with guys. Guys can do this to girls, like ghost them for 2 weeks, come back, and it's fine. When a girl does it, it's like, it broke my heart. I can't be vulnerable anymore as a guy. Please, I don't want to hear.
I think the important thing
because
to know
guys
is
do it all the time.
The 2 things can exist at once. So we're gonna move on.
Very good. Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It seems as though finances seem to be very important to your ex. So I want to ask Ted and I want to ask Michelle, how important do you think finances are in a relationship?
It's important. Let's not waste time here. It's important. If you don't finances, what's the point? Our age now, let's not talk about age because I'm a bit older. But at our age now, I'm sorry, but you can't be a broke guy. Why are we struggling? Why are we eating Gary on the floor with no electricity? Why? I'm sorry, no. Finance is important.
Do you think to the extent of how Robert's ex was asking for, her hair done, her nails, all her beauty treatments, all of that stuff?
The thing is,
and seemingly being quite demanding about it. Do you think that that's okay?
The thing is with Robert's one, I feel like when he was having sex with her, he didn't complain. When she was giving him everything he didn't complain. When she was licking and doing all of this, he didn't complain. So no, for real, because it doesn't. The thing is, he's complaining 6 months all this time, but when he's getting what he wants, no one's complaining. So to the extent, yes. Actually, finance is important to that extent, yes, because it's give and take. So yeah. Not to say that she's a prostitute, but I'm saying if you're enjoying her.
Robert, quickly, do you have anything you want to say to that?
Do I have anything to say?
Before I move on to
most certainly. When I was enjoying her, I wasn't complaining.
Of course you weren't.
Here's the thing, right? The question was, is finance important?
It is important.
Now, as I said, there was a 6 months period where none of that started to show. It showed thereafter. You're telling me in the space of 24 months, which is 2 years, you didn't see Mr. Casanova cheat.
Are you the host?
No,
what I'm
not
saying
at all.
Wait, I say something. Can I say something? If it wasn't that good, if it wasn't that good, he wouldn't have got a second job. If he wasn't enjoying her, he wouldn't have got a second job.
Well, I'll tell you one thing though. Pretty much as good as your pum pum might be, you literally saw your man get up and walk with the next thing, and she even shut your shit down. She told you and shut your shit down. I wasn't good. I did my thing. Your guy walked.
But you know what? We're gonna get to Michelle.
The difference is Michael called me back.
Called you back?
Did she call you back?
It doesn't even matter. Is he still cooking for you? Are you still eating his food? Or are you having microwave food?
Did she call you back?
You're having microwave
food.
You're having microwave food.
Did she call you back?
No one's cooking for you
Where's
now.
the phone?
No one's cooking for you
Where's
now.
the phone?
No one's cooking for you now.
Alright.
Remember, I was the breadwinner. I got more myself.
We're gonna get to
guys,
Robert. We're gonna get to
Quit your
ask
second
Michelle
job.
a lot of questions
Yeah.
in the comment segments, but I just want to ask you, Ted.
Yep.
How do you feel? Do you feel like finances play a very important part in a
Finances
relationship?
are very important in a relationship. And depending on where you are and what type of relationship it is, like it weighs in on how important finances are.
Yeah.
I think depending on what you guys have agreed and what your belief is together, it can be a situation where it's like, you handle your finances, I'm gonna handle mine. Or if we're coming to a place where it's like, no, we want to achieve these goals together, how are we gonna make our finances reflect the goals that we want to achieve?
That makes sense.
There's the phrase, you know, put your money where your mouth is. What your money tends to go towards gives an impression of what's important to you and what's important to you guys as a couple.
But do you think it's wrong for a woman to feel like, you know, you're my man, you need to look after me, you know, make me look good, take me to nice places, that kind of stuff?
Like I said, almost anything is acceptable as long as permissible between the two of you. If you have a relationship where the guy agrees and says, yes, you're my woman, I need to take care of you, I need to take care of there and there. And then you in turn can say, yes, and I agree, you're my man. That means this and this and this and this, and it works for you, perfect. It is a disaster when you come into a relationship expecting that to be the case, and that has not been signed off by the person that you're seeing. If the person doesn't agree, you have no case.
See, I'm going to stick up for Robert a little bit here.
Oh,
I'm going to say, I'm just going to bring some balance into this. Hear me out. I think that I have to commend, a lot of people do say you were simping, right? And that's fair. That's fair. However, I think that if she had been doing what she needed to do, and she was giving you that energy back in whatever way, not ghosting, being loving, being loyal, first and foremost, and being a source of peace, I think we wouldn't be here today. That's for starters. And you would have been happy. And I feel like we need more Roberts.
Faith.
What?
But you want Michaels. You want Future.
We don't want broke guys.
Sensation.
You know what? It's
But
not
he
about
wasn't
broke
broke.
guys.
He was, whenever
We don't
she
want
asked,
broke. We don't want the
hold on.
struggling guys.
Whenever she
Please,
asked, did she
please.
for anything, did you not do it?
I did.
Exactly.
Yeah, but how long did it take?
But he
No, please,
no,
we
it's
want-
only because
we
she-
don't want to
Quicker
be
than your
rated.
delivery,
Because she was
your Amazon
ghosting
delivery.
him.
Like, that's what
yeah,
I'm talking
sure.
If she
about.
wasn't ghosting him, they would still be doing what they're doing.
Can
Do you know what I
I just say as well, like it's because it's not my thing to take sides, right? I have to be as objective as I can be. But when we're talking about the situation, like I've seen parts of the statements that have gone on, right? And when you get to a place where you're delivering less and you're asking more, it weighs, the toll is heavy on the other person. And if she is doing what it is that they were, like she was fulfilling the dynamic they had from the beginning, I agree. I feel like it would have been fine, but that wasn't the case. The case is there was a breakdown in communication. One was asking more, one was giving more, and bit by bit it began to decay.
I'm looking at Michelle's face. She's not trying to hear all that.
I'm not.
I have another question actually, which maybe Michelle might agree with me on.
Well,
Well,
Faith,
not with me, but
let's
with the
see
question.
if you can come back on my side because.
Robert, do you think you were dating a girl that was out of your league?
Nah, not even. Not in the slightest. Now, if she was, I don't know, if she was raised up in the Playboy mansion and stuff like
Were
that.
you giving her Playboy mansion?
Ask him.
No.
Ask him.
No.
That analogy is
No. Okay. You know what? It was very extreme. It was very extreme. Yes. But let me come at it from this point. When we did meet, it was one of those things that you've already seen me in how I move. You already told me what you want. Now, if I couldn't be able to deliver, I'll say I can't do it. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna gas you. I know some guys will gas, but I will not gas you. If I can't do it, I can't do it.
Okay.
If I can, I'll step up to that. But then, what's it called? I've literally ticked all your boxes and you went left. But it is what
Clearly,
it is.
you didn't tick all her boxes.
Well, clearly, Michael's not here.
And then clearly, he couldn't afford it because at the end he said, "My name's not Alan, I'm not Sugar." Whatever he said. So if you're not Alan Sugar, that means you don't have Alan Sugar money. Correct? No, is that correct or not?
Did she need Alan Sugar money?
Did she need Alan Sugar money? She is. You're acting as if she's middle class.
Well, we all
like she
know
didn't
that
go from
Robert
the
is the
trenches.
king of analogies. So maybe it was just one
Trenches.
of
Where
those.
did you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
I beg,
I grew up in the
Robert.
trenches, but I
Anyway,
know my
please,
levels.
continue, please.
What's it called? Most women nowadays are shooting way before their own your own level. Like you're demanding guys to behave somewhat like a hubby, but you can't even do simple girlfriend duties. Simple. What's
girlfriend duties?
What is girlfriend duties?
Oh,
If I'm taking care of your hair, what you can't fix me a plate when I come late? I'm not saying you have to cook, but something just small gesture.
I don't understand. If you're coming back from work, can you not pick up takeaway?
Which is why Michael's not here. Your alpha opinion has left you by yourself. You're on this couch.
Okay, wait.
Yo, guys, on this couch.
Okay,
Stop saying
right.
Okay,
Put your dick back in your pants.
Michelle, we're gonna move on.
Where's she?
Yeah, where is she?
Don't worry.
Faith is saying.
So,
Faith is saying.
last question.
And the other 9 girls as well.
Last question.
That's he.
Michelle,
The African girl.
try not
Please.
to jump
Thank
in.
you. Sorry.
Robert, do you take any responsibility at all for how your relationship panned out? Not necessarily how it ended and your ex's actions, but for you at least allowing it to get to that point. Do you take any responsibility?
Honestly speaking, yeah, I do. I take a good 60% responsibility out of that.
Okay.
As I said, it happened a few times before I reached out to CheatCode. So, someone does a mistake, you're just gonna shoot them in, nah. So I was like, all right, you're doing this again. I'm not going for a third. So I got the professionals involved. Mm-hmm. They found the information, brought that to my attention.
Yeah.
And it was my fault that it extended, call it 3 months more, but 3 months more in order to find the truth rather than second guess the truth. And then now I don't trust people moving forward in my life. I prefer not to be like that. Mm-hmm. At least now from that time I learned the truth. I've kind of dealt with it. Happy with the outcome, and you know what? I'm now moving on with my life the way I am and the way I'm supposed to be, with no malice, no hurt in my heart. And that's the main thing for me. It's that someone like her doesn't destroy someone like myself. That was it.
I love that. Well, that sounds very, very healthy, and we love a king that takes accountability.
Thank you.
Okay, which king? What are you saying?
But you like peasants. That's why he's running the streets.
Well, clearly you like peasants.
Right, we're gonna move on. Michelle, you're in the hot seat. I feel like you have a lot you wanna get off your chest, but first question I want to ask you is, your reaction was heavily criticized on the show. In particular, how loud you were. Some say maybe aggressive. What would you say to that? I know those people criticizing you.
Well, everyone has their opinion. I don't really care, to be honest, but I just feel like even if I'm nice every day, I'm the sweetest girl in the world, he will still cheat. Yeah. Like, there's nothing I can do. Yeah. To be honest, even if I'm loud, I'm going to say okay, but it doesn't make a difference. He will still, if he wanted to, if I was the nicest person in the world, he would still cheat.
I feel like a lot of people maybe need to realize that you were in a real relationship with this guy. You love this guy. Yeah. And to see him with, not how many times, obviously we know people cheat, but how many times do we actually get to see them with that other person?
Yeah, so, sipping hot cocoa.
Yeah. I mean, literally. Yeah. So people do need to understand that, it's not a normal situation. Yeah. We don't know how it would react. But while you were in that situation with the side there, she said a few things that were quite triggering, even for me watching. And one of the things she said was, what about communication? How were you feeling in that? So there was a moment when you and your ex were going at it, and you were basically asking, why? And she was saying, what about communication, rather than you coming on the show to confront your ex. So do you remember now?
It's kind of a blur, but kind of, yeah.
What was going through your head? Like, what would you say about that? Why not communicate off, cameras and off air? Yeah. Why did you choose to do that in the manner in which you did?
Well, I did ask him. Maybe I assumed when I was asking, but then I did ask him about it beforehand. I didn't just come on there and be like, oh, what's going on? I asked him before, like, are you talking to anyone else? Is there someone else? What's going on? Why are you changing? Blah, blah. So I did ask him. But that girl, I wish I slapped her, bruv.
Yeah. You do? You wish you slapped. I mean, I don't condone violence, but she was quite disrespectful. She was
Babe,
very disrespectful.
If you saw your boyfriend now with someone else, you'll just be looking.
But
Especially
once you
you
slap the
think about
boyfriend,
it.
once you slap the boyfriend,
I'm not gonna lie.
because he's a man, he knows what he's doing.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, I think he probably deserved the slap more for putting you in that
He deserves that for
situation.
laughing, yeah.
But your ex didn't seem too surprised by your, I guess you could call it display.
Yeah.
Slight theatrics, although I understand why.
Yeah.
Do you think that a man should handle you the way you are, or do you think that you maybe need to change up a little bit?
I don't think anyone should handle anyone. I'm not a toolbox. I'm not a drill. I'm not a hammer. Don't handle me. I don't want anyone to handle me. I want to be careful. I want to be loved. But handling, I don't like that word. Like, why are you handling me? If you can't be with me and my personality, then don't be with me. But you shouldn't be settling. You shouldn't be handling. You shouldn't. Yeah. It shouldn't be a struggle to be with someone. So,
are you normally quite like an animated person? Or
I'm quite dramatic. Yeah.
Or did that situation bring out something else in you?
Well, I'm kind of like that in real life. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that you kind of give guys out a warning beforehand that this is what it is, or
no?
Got Tokyo Drift there around that corner.
Sorry, I don't understand Robert's American stuff that you're saying. Please.
Oh, we're talking about curving. Men avoid strong women like that. We avoid it because it's not even feminine. Like, who wants a man? A man don't want to be with another man.
Well, she didn't want to be with you too. Thank you.
To be honest, in Michelle's defense,
yes,
it seems like her ex had a type, because the other woman was quite outspoken as well. Let's be honest. So I don't.
Please.
When it comes to
me and her are not the same caliber. Okay, please.
Well, when it seems to outspoken women, it seems like Michael liked that kind of thing.
Say again, sorry.
It seemed like your ex liked outspoken women.
I don't know.
Because she was also very vocal as well. So
Michael likes anyone.
Okay.
Michael likes anyone. Yeah, Michael likes anyone.
In your monologue, you expressed that one of the reasons why you had suspicions was because he would stutter. Do you think that is a good enough sort of indication of someone cheating? And also, when you say stutter, like how? You mean when you would ask him outright, or? Yeah. Okay.
So, me and Michael used to talk all the time, like every day.
Yeah.
He would just stop picking our calls, acting wayward, acting funny. When he would come over, he would just leave my plate there. Like, just little stuff that I saw that was changing, like as if... I'm not saying that it's his role to pick up my plate. But what I'm saying is, if you've done that for all the 2 years, why are you changing now? I'm a bit confused.
So you saw like his behaviour was changing.
Yeah, and then I'll ask him about someone, or I'll ask him, is it this girl problem? He will just start starting, no, like that. And the thing is, a lot of people's comments are just like, oh, so someone's stuttering is not the issue. But if someone talks clearly, his speech is clear, all of a sudden he's like, I'm sorry, that's a red flag for me. Like,
I hear that, because if you ask someone a question and it should be quite a simple question and they're already stuttering, I'd have suspicions
that's
as well.
Yeah. Just be honest. But
what do you think, Ted?
I was actually thinking, when it comes down to like stuff like him not taking a plate and whatnot, to a lot of people it's like, what's the big deal? But when you're that deep, when you're that deep,
your girlfriend's plate. Thank you.
When you're that deep into a relationship, you notice the little things that people outside the relationship wouldn't notice. So something to someone else that's like, oh, he didn't take a plate, no big deal. You're like, no, but he didn't take the plate. He always takes the plate.
Yeah.
Why is he not taking the plate?
Yeah.
So in regards to, because that kind of stuff as well, that can drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And other people will say you're crazy for thinking it, but like you said, it's your instinct, like it's your intuition.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, and a lot of the stuff that happened in the midst of that, those different behaviors changing, it was clear to see that there was a pattern, but no understanding of why the pattern was there.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So I fully understood what you were saying. When it didn't sound crazy to me, it sounded perfectly on par.
Thank you.
I hear that. But like in regards to the plate situation, it seemed obviously that you enjoyed him taking your plate and doing these things for you. Do you believe in traditional roles in a relationship?
What's traditional roles?
You know, man goes out, earns the bacon, woman does the house stuff.
Okay.
Looks after her man.
So what if we're now both working?
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
Faith asked. Tell me.
What if you're both working?
Yeah.
So you obviously both work. You were telling me you're a very busy woman, entrepreneur. You've got your fingers in so many things. So I do feel like in that instance you should both cater to one another.
Yeah.
In whichever way works. And do you feel like you catered to him as well? Give us some of the. I'm guessing that's a yes. So
yeah.
Give us some of so give us some of the examples of the things that you would do for him.
You wanna know?
We wanna know. Tell us.
Are you sure?
As long as it's not.
You don't have to go deep.
Like, would you?
He enjoyed.
Did you cook for him? Would you?
I didn't cook. Sorry, I'm not cooking. Until we're married, I'm not cooking for you. But I did take him out. I did buy him some stuff, some clothes.
Okay.
He enjoyed well. Like, he never struggled. And if he ever did struggle, like, we did together. Well.
So when you say buy him clothes, was it like you bought him like a top? Like, was it like cake? I'm just trying to figure it out. Because this is news, you know, like I heard him.
I
Anyway.
brought him several trainers. I brought him clothes, tops.
Trainers are not cheap either.
Exactly.
Or what are we talking? Jordan's here. Are we talking?
Well, we know we don't know prices of trainers.
Are we doing 110s? like what type? Are we talking designers or are we talking big brands?
Please,
like, you know,
you're the host.
Trainers, you know, we know trainers are not cheap regardless.
if he size 11,
whether
yeah,
Nike or McQueen's, we know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, fair.
So you
look,
you look
just insecure by his money. Don't
anyway.
mind him.
So
Well, you're
Michelle,
insecure that your pum pum didn't bring the bag, did it?
But wait.
guys.
But when Michael's calling me back.
He's calling back and all the other 9. All the other 9.
Yeah, but the thing is, where's the girl?
I got
But
Shanika,
where's the girl?
Tina,
Where's the
Nisha.
girl?
Established.
Where's the girl?
Hey,
But
what's
where's
in
the
another
girl?
country
Both
don't
of
matter.
you are in
Don't
the
even matter.
same.
Yeah,
Michelle.
Just, if you're broke, just say that and be happy.
Both of you
That's must be on an egg timer. You're on an egg timer. Remember your age.
Know
your age.
No, that's
know
not
your
normal.
age.
Robert.
It's not my fault your egg's about to be run
Robert.
out.
Gosh.
Robert, you need to simmer
No,
down.
Emily.
Okay?
It's okay.
Because we need to remember
Relax.
you're both on this sofa together in the same situation. You had your exes do bad things and cheat on you.
Exactly.
So there's no need to go into personal digs, okay?
What's personal thing? What do you say?
It's okay, we'll move on. We don't need to revisit what was said.
Okay.
So a lot of people were able to resonate with your pain because obviously it was a really traumatic experience. What you went through. Why do you think people are able to resonate with you?
Because guys are useless most of the time.
Get a woman.
Pardon?
You said guys are useless. Get a woman,
This
innit?
is Robert. This is about Michelle.
Don't mind.
You had your
Who's saying
moment.
guys are
You had your
useless?
moment.
You talk about you have one bad guy in you, but guys are bad.
Just ignore him.
I'm the same with your ex. I don't
You said
understand.
I made it clear.
You're going through depression because of this girl. Like,
made it
please,
clear.
just be okay.
Don't worry. You have to
It's
take your own
okay,
place
just
in the
Robert,
kitchen now.
heal.
You have to take your place
Let's
in the
try
kitchen.
and keep the comments
Heal.
to a minimum
Fine.
while I
Fine.
talk to
Fine.
Michelle.
Fine.
Michelle,
Fine.
It's not my
Just
fault they
ignore
didn't like
him.
you.
Fine.
honey, just ignore
Sorry,
him.
don't
Let's
mind.
Let's get back into this.
Thank
So-
you. Can you see this is why women need proper men, not the ones that will be arguing back and forth with them. Like.
So the reason why you feel people were able to resonate with you, I'm gonna say it in a different ways. Maybe because
Men are useless.
women have gone through a lot.
Yeah.
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 Have you ever experienced anything like this before?
Yeah. I said it that day as well. That he's like another guy on the list of cheaters.
Yeah. Do you feel like you kind of know the patterns well now, in order to avoid it in the future? Although I personally feel sometimes
you
it's
can't
impossible.
avoid it because if they want to cheat, they will cheat.
It's
like
true.
there's nothing I can do.
It's true.
Yeah.
I've personally, from my conversations with men or conversations I've unfortunately had to listen to with men, it seems as though men would cheat even if you do everything for them. I guess the best thing to do as a woman is just, I guess, try your best to do what you can do, and if it happens, then kind of know your worth in that situation.
As long as you're secure in yourself, like as long as you don't put your happiness in him, that's all that matters. To be honest. Because if you have a man like Robert, that's it for you. You're doomed.
Okay.
So
He's
he's
been-
been.
I'm
Thank you.
I kept quiet.
Okay.
I kept quiet. The pom pom didn't bring the bag.
What
The
bag?
pom
What are
pom
you
didn't bring the
saying?
bag.
What are
You're
you
an
saying?
entrepreneur with no what's it called? With no retirement plan.
but the thing
It's
is,
calm.
you need to
It's
get
calm.
two jobs.
No
You need to get
retirement
two jobs.
plan.
You
No
need to get
retirement
two
plan.
jobs.
No
You need to
retirement
get
plan.
two
Am
jobs.
I gonna have to
Okay,
sit in
Get two
between,
jobs.
please?
Just because the other guy was taller than you,
Ted.
more
Hey,
handsome
it's calm.
than you.
It's calm.
Listen, don't be mad at me.
Hey, don't
Okay,
worry.
she
He's
didn't
not that
want
handsome
you.
now.
She didn't want
He ain't
you.
that
She
handsome
didn't
now.
want you. She
Guys.
didn't want you.
Come on.
Ted,
Okay. I just insecure
going
men.
from that question
Hey,
about
Wow.
Yeah,
why
Maybe you
go
should
back.
start a podcast.
on why a lot of people resonated with Michelle. Why do you think that is? What's your take on it?
Okay. It is very difficult to capture very real emotions on screen. Very difficult. I'll say that for a fact. So when you hear certain frequencies, certain sounds that you yourself has made, it brings you right back either to your own personal experiences. It brings you into a zone or an imaginative state of something that could have happened with someone close to you.
Yeah.
It triggers something very real inside yourself because you're seeing something very real right in front of you.
Yeah.
And
It was a
when
really
people feel that
emotional
pain-
episode.
When people feel that pain, it's really real.
Yeah.
There was a part where I was just like, all right, cool, you know, we're done. Like this part is done. Let's just go shut it off. It was a lot for Melissa. She was going through a lot, and we pretty much had things wrapped up. Next thing I know, Melissa's already like up the street, already like gone to go. Where should go? Do you know what I mean? And so we went to go and like obviously capture the rest, and it just unfolded more and more and more. And I think by that point, Michael had reached his point. I don't know if that was because of the cameras or because of the situation or because of everything. But he was just saying some like really mean stuff. Like just
that we
really,
didn't get on camera.
we got like the majority on camera, but
Okay.
whatever was cut out was cut out. But the fact of the matter is, it was that disbelief that someone who could have been in that relationship, in such a deep, like bonded relationship, could have ended up turning like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people, I definitely didn't expect it. I wouldn't have expected the viewers to expect it. I wouldn't have expected Melissa to expect
You were
it.
together for 2 years, right? Yeah. It's heartbreaking. I really did feel your pain. Definitely. You could tell that you were going through a lot. And
Yeah.
it wasn't fair. Especially with having the side there and the way she addressed you. I feel like in the other episodes where like yours and on episode 2 with the other couple, at least the side person was quiet and respectful, whereas I think with yours it was a little bit more harsh because you had to witness her also coming at you as well, so it was a lot. Definitely. And I think with that said, like, how have you healed since then? Like, what things have you done? Do you feel like you've actually healed from that situation, or do you feel like you still hold a little bit of resentment?
I've healed. I think I'm good. I'm good on my core. Yeah.
Robert, what was that about?
I don't want to hear Robert's voice, to be honest. It's American English. I don't want to hear him. Thank you.
Well, closure, yes.
No. Please, this is my time. Thank you. Yeah, I think I've healed.
Yeah.
I just. Yeah.
Yeah, you think you've healed?
I think I've healed. No more Nigerian guys.
I mean, okay.
No more Nigerian guys. No.
You just
I don't know about that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, your truth is your truth. Yeah. So, with that said, have you like stepped into the dating market?
I've stepped in, and he's not broke, and he makes me happy.
He's about to step out.
We love that. What a happy ending.
As long as it's not you, Robert, that's what that matters.
No, you couldn't get
Yeah,
anything
I'm
you
happy.
want to.
But I think just to round off this segment, Ted, what did you think about the episode in totality?
Melissa's episode.
Yeah, Melissa's.
Oh my God, there was a lot. It was draining. It was exciting. A lot of excitement going on. A lot of different things. Like you said, everyone else was a bit quiet when it came to the lady that was with Michael.
Did
no
you
holding
expect
back.
that?
No, but that's the thing. You don't know what to expect. You go into a situation like this,
Yeah.
and you can have everything controlled up until a point.
Mm.
But when you get everyone in the midst of the same space, everyone's just on guard because you have no clue what is about to happen
Yeah.
and how it's about to go down. So, like, even in the midst of it, you're trying to like keep focus and just be aware where things are escalating or what have you. But yeah, it was definitely a lot in that episode. And like I said, some people just find it entertaining. Other people, like, weirdly enough, they find it as a means of closure. Do you know what I mean? To know that someone else goes through something similar,
Absolutely.
or to understand it from an outside perspective. Like, there's a lot of comments where people are just like, oh, the culture's dying, why you should portraying people. Well,
I mean, this is some real life stuff.
There you go.
It happens all the time.
There you go.
I feel like in our culture as well, we almost normalize cheating.
Yeah.
As though, especially if a man has a certain amount of wealth, or it's not to be wealth, to be fair, just it could be anything. At least if he is shown to be doing stuff, it's like, oh, give him a pass, you know, high value man. He's allowed to have however many women he wants because he's a high value man.
Yeah.
So and even the non high value ones, the low value ones, even they are out here cheating and all over the place. So I think, I mean, it is what it is. It's a fair depiction of what happens in real life.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
yeah.